Ooh.
Oh yeah, we got a whole lot lined up right here for you and yours. Black Power Media, baby. Remix Morning Show. They might call me Macho Randy Savage. Right now, they call me the Ear Doctor. Let me introduce you to your host. We got no other than Dr. Jerry Ball. Burn it down, Kim Brown. Let's go.
Yes.
I feel like doing. Can you smell what the remix is cooking?
Did you hear him though, Jared? He did the intro
did.
in Macho Man Randy Savage's voice.
Rest in peace to Randy Macho Man Savage. That is
too.
Yes, he did. He several years ago, long time ago. Actually,
that's what he get for smacking up Elizabeth like that, man. I never liked that.
Yeah, man. Isn't that interesting? The ways in which
think about that, right?
Gender-based violence was very normalized for a young audience, a young American audience. There, yep.
You know, I wasn't a big wrestling fan, never been a big wrestling fan, but I have been watching the series over the last couple of years, Beyond the Ring or something like that. Mm-hmm. Very good about the whole history, and they get into all the people's personal stories, which I always find more interesting than even what they're famous for. Mm-hmm. And they did one on Savage, and but that particular point was not raised, oddly enough, you might think, right? But anyway.
Oh, wait a minute. We got one more that just came through. Come out, Frankie!
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Hell yeah.
But I also remember, again, the specific moment on my way to being driven to school and reading the story of Sergeant Slaughter coming out and you know, to me, breaking the news that it was all fake. And it totally messed my whole head up. And I was like, and I never paid attention again.
Hey, did we just adopt Jimmy Superfly Snooker as our black wrestler? I think
at the time, yes, because he was the man. Jimmy Superfly Snooker was the man at one point. Everybody loved him.
He had the Superfly in the name.
Yeah, but he was a proud Pacific Islander. Very clear. I mean, clearly he was non-white, but you know. I knew he wasn't from Africa.
I don't remember. I think it was any colorful face that crossed TV. It was like getting claimed. It was
that's true.
As a kid, I was just like, I'm on that team. Whoever, I don't know who it is.
Nobody was on Virgil's team, though. Nobody was on Virgil's team.
Oh, right.
He was on Virgil's team.
But Kim, you mentioned it just before we came on air. I had to pull this for the Ear Doctor and everybody. One of the benefits of growing up in Howard County was you get the local news and the local commercials from both DC and Baltimore. And I absolutely remember Mr. Ray's.
I think my cousin is in this commercial.
Really?
Maybe.
They look like somebody who just can't look like you.
Okay, discomfort. Don't dream about your new style. Go after it. Call 587.
Because this is Georgia Avenue, today. Silver Spring, but I know that Mr. Ray's was also in Baltimore.
Totally.
But it just was a reminder, like we would get local Baltimore, local DC news and television growing up in Columbia, which I always thought was awesome. So I would watch,
everything. Watch everything. Like I had a plentiful news diet living in the middle of DC in Baltimore because, like you said, we got both channels from both markets and how different the markets were in commercials and the way that they also approach the news. So yes, Mr. Ray's hair weave.
So I had like 5 channels when most people had 3 because I would get the DC and Baltimore channel and the DC Baltimore public outlet.
Yes.
You get both of those also.
And then you get channel 20, channel 50, channel 45.
45, yep, all of that. So it would,
we was talking about some of the best commercials as being one of these. This one.
Just let your soul go. Just let it shine through. Just let your soul go, baby. Feel it so silky smooth.
Just let it ride. Just let it ride.
Really? Should he let it ride?
That joint is a man. It's just perfect. And if everybody has the mental image now of the wet spots on the couch.
So none of y'all had Jerry curl, or
I did. Yes.
I was gonna say not the good wet spots.
Totally had a Jerry curl. It was traumatic. It was hard. It was harmful to my self-confidence as a young child. To sleep with a shower cap on. Oh Lord, don't run out of activator. That Jerry curl be looking dry. And the worst thing than a wet Jerry curl is a damn dry Jerry curl. So shout out to everybody who had a wave nouveau. I know some of y'all Dukes S curl brothers, y'all out there. Don't act like y'all ain't out there. I know some of y'all had that Dukes S curl. Stop playing. Kamal.
Never that. Never.
Kamal had the Dukes. Jared, you had the Dukes.
No.
Yeah, y'all lie.
Couldn't do that in New York.
That's a big lie.
There was one kid I remember high school
was from New York. What you talking about?
We did not.
He
did not deal with the S curl or the Jerry curl well. You were an immediate outcast, excluded. There was one kid I remember in high school who tried to rock a Michael Jackson look. Even when Michael was popular, he got egged up. Half of them was like half was egg, half was Michael Jackson. It was not tolerated in Brooklyn, particularly not in Brooklyn high schools. You couldn't get away with that. We didn't do that.
Yeah, I can't imagine anybody actually doing a full Michael Jackson outfit, even in my high school or my middle school or whatever. I can't. No.
It was just an unwise decision. Unwise decision. I feel he should not have been abused in that way. But he did come to high school.
Wow, look at that 2022, that 2022-2020 vision, cleaning up the past, right?
As if Kamal didn't throw an egg. As if Kamal...
he didn't deserve that. He had to throw that little in
However.
Hilarious.
You have
because we do not advocate that the victim has asked for anything, right?
Yes,
so across the board, that's not where we are. But you did show up in a full Michael Jackson.
And be real, Michael was the only one who could rock that, to be honest, because the whole outfit was corny. I mean, you wearing high waters with glittery socks and penny loafers. Like, what? You can't put all those things together and go to school.
You couldn't actually dress like Prince. You could like Prince, but you couldn't dress like Prince.
Not dress.
But everybody loved Prince.
Everybody loved Prince. You just can't dress like him.
Or
strictly for me, it was. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was just accidental for me, though. I can't front. It was just accidental. I wasn't trying to be cool. It was just accidental. You know what I'm saying? I was not your fly kid by any means.
Jared was rocking the high waters organically, not even intentionally.
Exactly.
I had a growth year where they were similar. I had a growth year. It was like it was too late for the school clothes to be bought. Then I was doing the time of leads, right? And I was always late, so I got them right the year where like everybody was trying to rip off the tags and steal them or cut them, or they became uncool. But Leeds was cool for like about 3 or 4 years. I got 1 year in. 1 year in.
I mean, we were, again, I literally remember getting my tennis shoes out of the bin in Safeway as a kid, having to thumb through and find the right size. And then it would be, and then there was also not the variety. I don't remember having access. It was like the department stores at the mall, and that's it. And if you were kind of like a bigger kid or an awkwardly built kid, there was just not a lot, we don't have a lot of money, not a lot of selection, and not a lot of style. So it just added up to a lot of mess.
You were going to J.C. Penney's. Your mama was taking you to J.C. Penney's. I already know.
Sears.
Yes, sir.
Hex.
I mean, it's hard to stay fly in poverty, right? Like, and especially when everyone is pointing out. That's why I appreciate kids today being able to go to school and wear uniforms. Like, that's something that I would have benefited tremendously from a uniform, because again, we had a roof and we had food and everything, but we didn't have money for gear. We didn't have money for fly gear. So yeah, but and
even in all due respect to white,
I was gonna say,
go ahead.
Mama was white. I
hear you. I hear you had to reiterate it.
I want everybody else to hear it.
But I was going to add to it by saying, to be perfect, love moms, respect moms. But it wasn't just that she's white. It's that she was not like cool and white either. Like, there are some of those cool white moms that can make sure their child is fly, at least. Like, not everything else might be taken care of, but they be fly. Right. But my mother was just not. She was like, if you need a new book, if you need the latest
protractor,
right?
I got you. But you want the Jordans, Jared Ball? I don't know what you think this is.
I got one pair of Jordans in my life, and it caused a huge amount of stress in the household. And I did miss a cycle of new clothes as a result. So I got one pair, and that was it. And my mother was like, "This is, it's either this or all of these other clothes." And I was like, I gotta do it.
I was bad one year. It was rough. I stole my mom. My mom had a gold chain. I stole that to go buy me a leather bomber.
Wow.
And your mother whipped you? Did you get beat?
No, she didn't know I took it because she didn't wear it. She was wondering where I got the coat from, and I had to make up some bad lie. But years later, she figured it. I remember years later she figured it out. Obviously, it was too late to give me a beat, but I was like, yeah.
I went in my mother's purse once for $3 to get comic books, and I didn't even make it. I got down the 3 flights and halfway up to the corner, and my mother was at the window talking about, "Jared,
bring your
beige." No, it was like it was just the call from the window, and I was like, "Damn it!" Anyway. Just bad at crime, man. That's why I ended up in the Navy.
Wow.
Bad at crime from day one.
Jared, I'm not to get in y'all business. Did your mom ever did you get beatings as a child?
Once. And it was oddly enough for the one time I was actually innocent. So I never got it again. She felt guilty for the rest of ever. And it went like I always talk about the equalizer with my daughter. Like, I'm trying to get the levels right, get your self-esteem up, but not into arrogance, we're trying to get everything right. And my mother just went too much into passivity. Her levels into passivity went way too high, especially after that. And I probably needed some adjustments here or there, but no, just the one time. And I was actually innocent. It was wild.
That one time.
One time, I was actually innocent, and she never forgave herself.
Like, with those dynamics, how they played out, what they look like. Because I remember the one episode I can remember ever watching of Key and Peele, Jordan Peele and Keegan Michael Key, both of them biracial men with white mothers, black fathers, and they said that I think it was Jordan Peele was talking about the first time and the only time his white mother beat him. He said he dropped that Denzel glory tear. It was like
that's what it was. I must have hit her with that. I hit her with the, and it worked. So I had years of boy, and I ran with it. I went too far.
You put the white guilt on your white mama, sir. Jeez.
Hey,
that's amazing.
I was like, is this a lane I can run in?
You just gonna be beating black kids? You just gonna be beating black kids out here?
Got my whoever, Carl Lewis on, or whoever we're talking about these days. I was in that lane. Anyway, speaking of lanes and working them right, we got the ear doctor working the ones and twos.
Let's get it.
Kim, fix your face.
I'm trying.
I'm G-rated. I'm G-rated. I'm maybe PG-13. I'm easy.
Woo.
Hey, my parents are both from the South, so they seen slavery. You know what I mean? I got ass whipping.
Your parents did not see slavery.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with the doctor. I agree with him. It was too close to it.
My dad had a belt drawer. He would be like, go to my drawer and go get my belt. A belt drawer. And I had to pick it. My mom would make me go pick the switch from the backyard. Go get me a switch and don't make me go get the switch. That's what it was. So yeah, that's why I'm a good kid today. That's what happened to you, Jay. You need your ass beat a little bit more.
I actually, I in general don't agree with it, but in my case, I did need at least one more honest, legit, because I went too far. I took too much of it. He was like going to the golf bag. He was like, I need my 5-iron for this one. Is that what it was? He was like, no, this looks like a 3-wood. That's a 3-wood crime today, ear doctor.
Word. Well, let me go ahead and give you a quick break and do a artist spotlight. So let's get to it right here on the Remix Morning Show.
The Remix on Black Power Media with the Ear Doctor.
All right. Welcome out once again to the Remix Morning Show right here on Black Power Media. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor, and right now I want to make sure that y'all know about a like button at the bottom of the screen. In case y'all ain't seen it before, go ahead and hit it. It works. Also, go and, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This is the channel you want to check out. Go to patreon.com, drop some change in the bucket, and copy you some merch. That's what we here. We here for y'all, and we need a little bit of help to make sure we stay here. All right. So with that said, I want to go ahead and talk about a group of pretty dope singers. And who am I talking about this time? No other than the Staple Singers. That's right. The Staple Singers, coming straight out of Chicago. They are a gospel, soul, R&B singing group. You got Roebuck, that's Pop Staples. Listen to these names. They are so... First of all, they came from Mississippi and then they moved to Chicago. You got Cleotha, you got Purvis, and you got Mavis. And Yvonne, who replaced her brother when he got drafted to the U.S. Army. And they're best known for their 1970s hits, Respect Yourself, I'll Take You There, If You're Ready, Come Go With Me, and Let's Do It Again. That's right. That was that joint right there. Pretty much, like I said, they came from Mississippi, moved to Chicago. Pop's brother had a church, so they got there, started doing that singing thing. And then they got their first professional contract in 1952. It was with United Records, VJ Records. They did a mix, and they had a song called Uncloudy Day and Will the Circle Be Unbroken. Now, one of the people that was mad influenced by this was Bob Dylan. He said, man, that voice that Mavis got is ridiculous. And y'all know Mavis got that deep voice that just take you home. She'll take you there, for real. So more, like I was saying, they got to Stax Records after that. They put out some more hits. And then when Stax Records went bankrupt, they went and signed to Curtis Mayfield's album record label, which was Custom Records. And guess who produced Let's Do It Again? No other than Curtis Mayfield. That's right. Curtis Mayfield did produce that song. So they put out some more hits. After that, for a while, Pops had complications and a concussion, and he suffered and he passed away, made his transition in 2000. Also, Cleotha, she passed away. Then from Alzheimer's disease. And then you had the other sister, she passed away. The only one that's still living is Mavis, But big up to the staple singers. First of all, they in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1999 and the Gospel Music Hall of Fame, and was honored with a mark on the Mississippi Blues Trail in Drew, Mississippi. In 2005, the group was awarded Grammy Lifetime Achievements Award. So big up to them. Big up to the whole family. And they got over like 9 albums. So go check them out if you haven't already. The Staple Singers, y'all. Now let's take y'all back to the Remix Morning Show. All right. All right. I know what place.
Yeah,
Way to go,
that's great.
Doctor.
That and let's do it again is one of the top 20 all-time greatest songs. Maybe in the top 10. Let's do it again.
And Pops was one of the oldest singers besides Frank Sinatra that was still out here performing.
Oh,
I don't know what that stat means.
And somebody said, I think Shirley was saying, were you that Mavis is still? Did you just say that Mavis is still performing?
Yeah, he said Mavis is still alive.
Okay, my bad. Yeah.
There was rumors that she and Bob did have a little something.
Oh, really?
Bob Dylan?
Yeah. Bob,
Really?
Yeah, there was some rumors. Yeah.
Interesting.
So real quick, because the recently I saw the Summer of Soul documentary at which they all performed, and it's a fantastic documentary. The quote unquote Black Woodstock in Mount Morris Park in Harlem. It's a great story. And then I saw a story that I'm just going to share real quick before I hear Dr. Lee's because that was like so hopeful and soulful and powerful and beautiful. And here we are in 2022 in our dystopian anti world or whatever. And this is what we get this summer down your way, Kamal. The Invest Fest 2022.
Is Ear Doctor gonna be spinning?
I wondered. I was looking for his name. And
hey,
I was like,
money right. I'm there, baby.
I need a gig.
If I see a BPM logo on there somewhere, I'm gonna lose my shit. But I was just like, I just, I'm just looking at the names on here. The only names I did not see are Jay Morrison and Boyce Watkins. But it's like every other major player in the Black capitalist hustle game is gonna
name and shame them. Come on, Charlemagne the God, Steve Harvey, Rick Ross.
Rick Ross, him 500. These are like this is like the equivalent in the Black capitalist game of the Summer of Soul. Like this is every major hitter except for some of the names I mentioned, few exceptions.
Where are the women? I see a bunch of male names at the top. I mean,
all the biggest names are men in this game, but there is Paige Addison down here at the bottom. You got to look at the small print, Kim. You got Paige Addison down here, Sophia Lewis. You got Miss Business, Aisha Seldom, Miss
them in their place. Yes.
Yeah, they're all down here in the small print.
Women can't get no financial.
Because remember, there's like overlap. It's like the economic analysis also overlaps with this manosphere thing that's happening that everybody's talking about. So it is very much like that. Like if you a real man, you go in here and hustle up some money and then put your woman in, or you know what I mean, or like it's like that. It's got a lot of that same energy as they, so I'm not surprised. Yeah.
That's the
anyway, so I had to bring that up when I saw what you did with the musical break. I was like, because it's like the perfect anti-world, and in fact, that was my comment on that. It's like this is the dystopian reality that we're getting right now.
In that Summer of Soul, when Mahalia Jackson brought Mavis up to sing with her, oh my goodness!
And the Summer of Soul when Nina Turner said, not only like she said, you gotta kill.
That she did. That's right.
She didn't say you got to die for the struggle.
Nina Simone
got on stage and did not say you got to give, you got to die. She said, "No, are you ready to kill?" The standing ovation.
Nina, thank you for that, Kamal. That's very different energy. And shout out to Cornell West Theory out of DC who had that song "Would You Kill?" who rephrased the question, what would you kill for as opposed to what would you die for?
Our producer Nawadi said, let's slap the map. So let me get up out of here.
Oh,
Thank
wow.
you,
He blaming
Nawadi.
somebody else. I don't even know who that is.
You know Nawadi, aka Obi. Come on, you know who.
Oh,
Nawadi
no, my
is.
fault. Oh, I thought, no. My fault. I didn't catch he was looking at the chat. My fault. I thought he had my fault. Of
I
course.
know y'all know the chat apparently runs the show. Like they tell us
Yeah,
what to do
I forgot.
and
Yeah,
tell us to
apologies.
shut up and
Keep it
tell
up.
us to
That's
move
right,
on.
Keep it up.
Like,
That's right.
Jesus Christ.
Let them know.
My
chat.
apologies. I
I only
forgot
got
who
one
wrote
mama chat. My mama
I'm with
lives
that, chat.
is up the
You
street.
do
She ain't
that,
in the
chat.
chat.
It's your show too, chat.
Oh, here goes Kamal.
Oh Jesus! Now
Put
here
the
you go.
batteries in the back. That's Brooklyn.
Do that.
You want them step on your shoe, chat? You want
Bird.
little message you
Fuck them up, chat.
anyway. Yes, indeed. Welcome back to the Remix Morning Show, Black Power Media. Yeah, that's right. BPM chat remains undefeated. Congratulations.
These are facts. These are facts, though. Big facts. Thank you, chat. Thank you, remixers.
We take L after L coming up against the chat. Shout out to the chat.
That is
either of you want to get us
also facts.
Yeah.
Also facts. Sorry.
Anybody want to get us started this morning? Kim, I did pull up the links you dropped. But I don't know if Kamal, you got something pressing or how we want to go this morning. What's up? I got stories galore myself. Shout out to Sister Erica, Sister May on vacation, making us struggle and do homework and shit. It's like, God damn it. No, I'm just playing.
So Kamal, if you have something, you are free to go, but I do have something ready to rock and roll.
Rock it, Kim.
Rock and roll. So yesterday we were talking about the 101-year-old Nazi who was sentenced to 5 years in jail behind his Nazism and dealings and conduct as an SS officer, also connected to some murders there. Well, hey, it's not too old, never too late for an old racist to find their ass in a jail cell. And hopefully this will be the case with Carolyn Bryant. So this headline from HuffPo says, 1955 warrant in Emmett Till case found. The family is seeking arrest of woman. Now, this is very interesting, guys. This is a very interesting development. So, according to the Associated Press, this is coming out of Jackson. A team searching the basement of a Mississippi courthouse for evidence about the lynching of Black teenager Emmett Till has found the unserved warrant charging a white woman in his 1955 kidnapping, and relatives of the victim who initiated the hunt wasn't authorized to finally arrest her nearly 70 years later. A warrant for the arrest of Carolyn Bryant Donham, identified as Miss Roy Bryant on the document, was discovered last week inside of a file folder that had been placed in a box before in LaFleur County Circuit Court. A document was discovered last week inside a file folder that had been placed inside of a box. Lahore County County Circuit Court clerk Elmis Stockstill. What in the name is Elmis? That's what they're naming people.
I know. Ear doctor was talking about names there.
Elmis Stockstill told the Associated Press on Wednesday. So what this is, the documents are kept inside of boxes by decade, he said, but there was nothing else to indicate where the warrant dated August 29th, 1955 may have been. Quote, they narrowed it down between the 50s and the 60s and just got lucky, said Stockhill, who certified the warrant as genuine. The search was started by the Emmett Till Legacy Foundation and included 2 members of Till's family, his cousin Deborah Watts, who is the head of the foundation, and her daughter Terry Watts. They want authorities to use the warrant to arrest Donham, who at the time of the slaying was married to one of the white men tried and acquitted just weeks after Till was abducted from a relative's home, killed, and dumped in a river. Serve it and charge her, said Terry Watts, who told the Associated Press in an interview. Donham set off the case in August of 1955 by accusing the 14-year-old Till of making improper advances at a family store in Money, Mississippi. A cousin of Till who was there said that Till whistled at the woman, which flew in the face of Mississippi's racist social codes of the era. Evidence indicates that the woman, possibly Dunham, identified Till to men who later killed him. The arrest warrant against Dunham was publicized at the time, but the Lafleur County sheriff told reporters that he did not want to, quote, bother the woman since she had 2 young children to care for. Now in her 80s, and most recently living in North Carolina, Dunham has not commented publicly on calls for her prosecution, but Terry Watts said that the Till family believes that the warrant accusing Dunham of kidnapping amounts to new evidence. We actually have a clip from Chuck Modiano, justice journalist, who interviewed Emmett Till's cousin. I'm not sure if it is Terry, let's just say Miss Watts. I think it's safe to call her Miss Watts. And I think I dropped that link in the chat also, Jared. Chuck Modiano, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry about that. Hold on.
So this is from last year. He spoke with her last year when the family came to DC to implore and to rally for charges to be filed in the case of this murder. There is no statute of limitations on murder. Emmett Till was lynched. And if this is new evidence saying that Carolyn Bryant Dunham may have some obvious connection to this, the family wants to see justice. So let's take a listen to what the family had to say.
Carolyn Bryant Dunham, who is still never been charged as an accomplice in Emmett Till's murder. So there's a thread that has run from before Emmett, with Emmett, and then through Emmett up to today. So we need to make sure that we're making those connections so that we can affect change. When we separate them, and we say that was a long time ago, we lose some of our power and we lose some of our ability to influence change. So I'm saying justice for Emmett Till, right along with these families, and then also wanting to hold the Department of Justice accountable, Mississippi DA Dwayne Richardson accountable, demand charges be brought against Carolyn Bryant Dunham. Emmett's case is still open.
Okay, just to be clear for people listening, yes. Carolyn Bryant is the white woman who lied about Emmett Till, which contributed to him being lynched.
Yes, and Carolyn Bryant is still alive. People think that she confessed on her deathbed. She's never confessed. Never confessed, and charges have never been brought against her, and she is an accomplice to Emmett's murder. She's accomplice to the kidnapping and murder of Emmett Lewis Till, and she needs to be brought to justice today.
Thank you.
Family of Emmett Till speaking to justice journalist there, Chuck Modiano, in Washington, D.C. last year. So, gentlemen, your thoughts? I mean, there was a warrant, a whole ass warrant from 1955. What?
Go get it, serve it, lock her up. Let's go. I mean, let's get it. Or to be fair, serve the warrant, go through the legal process, the justice process, indictments, trials, grand juries, whatever have you. But let the process begin.
Kamal, you familiar with Lafleur County in Mississippi?
I am not familiar with Lafleur County, Mississippi, but living in Mississippi for a year and a half, I have some familiarity with Mississippi. So it's obviously no mistake that the warrant was never served, as even the story indicated, that the sheriff of the county was like, I am too busy to bother that poor white woman in this case of this murder of this black child, right? This assassination.
She has children.
Killing. So, I mean, and again, that's part of our history too, is that we're always told that our history is only history, that it's never to be validated or acted upon or something done about it in quote unquote present times, and we need to just forget about it, right? Remember everything else, but just don't remember the crimes committed against Black people. So there's no legal rationale for why they couldn't or why they didn't. This is all about white supremacy. Even the fact that a child gets just imagine the times, you know what I mean? Obviously, we still live in some dangerous times, but just imagine the times, particularly in the South, where people had to step off the sidewalks, right? Lower their eye, go through different doors, if allowed in the building at all, the whole water fountain and all that kind of stuff. Like the psychotic break that white people have always had around race in which they now always seem to have complete amnesia around, saying things like, why y'all always talk about race? It's like, who invented this? You invented this. You invented these scenarios. So yeah, I mean, there's no legal talk to have. This is all about white supremacy, right?
Yeah. And yeah. So let them be inspired by the Nazi story. And
well, they should be inspired. I mean, my God, if Mississippi alone were to start charging for crimes of violence against Black people from decades ago, even the dicks that are still alive, man, the jails would be filled with them, right? It would be filled with nothing but Klans people and white citizens council members. And I don't know if Mississippi is going to have the will to do this. I think it's going to require that pressure be applied, even as far as we can help. And I don't know in what ways the Till family wants people to help, and I'm sure they do, but I don't know in which ways they are calling for people to help. But no, I mean, if there's a warrant, if this country is law and order, bullshit. But if it is law and order, run her ass in jail, man. Kidnapping is a felony. Murder is no statute of limitations on murder. No, it's a lot of legal valid reasons to bring Carolyn Bryant in at minimum for an arrest.
I mean, think about the Arbery case of a few years ago here in Georgia, where it was the same reaction by the police, right? Under the stand your ground statutes. Yep. The initial reaction was, there's not going to be any arrest at all in this case. There's not going to be anything done. Conversation after conversation with prosecutors was like, it's either out of our hands or we're not going to do anything about it. Or in the end, it was, well, of course they did what they did. He was dangerous. He was Black. He obviously did something. He's frightened them. He scared them. He threatened their lives. They had no choice but to stand their ground. But the mere fact that there was videotape and a persistent family that gathered a community around it was the only reason that there was justice in that case. If there was never any videotape in particular that came to light, then I rest assured that there would have not been any arrest in that case whatsoever to this day.
I'm still surprised, to be honest.
What Ahmaud Arbery, that his murderers actually are in jail, which is amazing.
Yeah. Because just very quickly, they don't have, there's certain groups that they have no problem putting in jail. Although as much as I struggle with the existence of the prison system, if this is not the case, I want to argue over reform or abolition for. But anyway, R. Kelly did get 30 years for sex trafficking.
Look at God. So, won't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? 30 years. Oh, that's about how long he was out here abusing people. Wow. That sounds appropriate.
Convicted on all 9 counts of high-profile sex trafficking case.
Well, let's be clear.
Go ahead.
Include what else he was convicted of, Jared. He was convicted of trafficking, right? And racketeering included in these charges. And shout out to Naima. I think her last name is Cochran. Naima Cochran is a music industry writer. And she does really amazing threads on Twitter. And she pointed this out yesterday on Twitter. Like, when it comes to child trafficking and racketeering and this kind of shit, that requires an apparatus. That requires a system. Like, this was not R. Kelly moving these teenage girls across state lines by himself. People were helping him. People had absolute knowledge that R. Kelly was dealing with or abusing underage girls or barely legal girls, right? And this was long-standing knowledge, industry-wide and certainly within his own circle. So I'm glad that R. Kelly's been sentenced to 30 years. I know he's also headed back to Illinois to face some charges connecting with all of his fuckery. But I've recounted the story and I'm gonna tell y'all again. So in 2000, I think it was 8, when R. Kelly first was facing some child pornography charges or child abuse charges. I can't remember which specific ones in Illinois. I happened to be in Chicago the day that his verdict came down, and it was not guilty. And I will remember this for as long as I live. Chicago's heritage radio station, V103, at lunchtime during the power hour mix, and started playing Jay-Z and R. Kelly not guilty. And the radio personality got on the radio and started celebrating that Robert had been found guilty and he not guilty. He ain't do. And it was a whole ecosystem around R. Kelly, protecting R. Kelly, propping up R. Kelly, making sure R. Kelly faced no accountability. So for a long time, I never thought that we would see this day. And I want to shout out Dream Hampton and the other brave people who compiled that brilliant series, Surviving R. Kelly, because it really helped to change the conversation. After Surviving R. Kelly aired, that's when it was officially, you could not play Step in the Name of Love at the barbecue no more. You know what I mean? Like, I have been abandoning R. Kelly's music for a long, long time because I peeped the game long ago, but it took a long time for the whole community to catch up with that. So this is a good sign, and I hope this is just the first of many known abusers who are being protected, specifically in the music industry. I hope this is the start of a reckoning for that. And I hope the motherfuckers who help R. Kelly move these girls around from here to there to here to there, we need to see them charges run up too. Period.
Racketeering, violating the Mann Act, of course, bans transporting people across state lines. These are just, as you said, part of the charges. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I just to second Kim on the whole, there's that famous Boondocks cartoon series or that episode they did, which, obviously funny, but disturbing in how accurate it was around the community reaction or protection or support in some ways. Obviously not everybody, but far too many people who took public stances, either in support or just kind of like, and again, it's that issue of like what celebrity does to people, of somehow either justifying or going along with, or again, thinking this person is particularly targeted, and then forgetting all about either the not only just proven accusations even before a guilty verdict, because my God, it was videotaped, but just the history of what he could get away with. And again, like, there's that celebrity old black men club of like folks who are just like, it's story time. What you do, who you do it with, what you got away with, what you done, that kind of thing. And R. Kelly just was in there for the longest of times and allowed to do what he wanted to do. And you're right, it's only through the activism of in this particular case, of Black women who continued literally decade after decade, because remember, like you said, it's been decades since not only the first accusations, but the first obvious signs that R. Kelly was doing something that was not only horrific, but also illegal, with Aaliyah. Like, though, I mean, it was all there. It was all there, and people continued to close their eyes to it, or the music was pumping, and so that's all people cared about. So,
well, it's what they care about, but really, more tellingly, Kamau, it's what they don't care about. They don't care about Black women and girls being hurt. And I heard this. I feel a certain way about this, just specifically because when I was a young woman coming in radio, R. Kelly was huge, and I entered radio after I had seen the child sex abuse tape. We're not supposed to call it child pornography no more, like child sex abuse materials. I've seen that at like 19, 20 years old. Again, I told y'all, my homegirl bought it at the goddamn beauty salon. Like, this was known internationally and nationwide throughout the community that R. Kelly had done this. And I remember getting into radio and bringing this up to my program directors, all male, music directors, all male. I'm like, but have y'all seen the tape? Yeah, I seen it, but them girls look like they knew what they was doing. And I'm like, dog, like, y'all don't recognize that at least one of these girls is an obvious child. Like, she is a child. She is not a developed woman, not even close. It is obvious that this is not a woman that he is dealing with. And it was just very cavalier, very dismissive, you know, very much placing the blame, the onus on the victims. Well, they knew who he was. They knew. And it's like, Jesus Christ. And like, these are the messages that I was receiving as a young woman. And that just told me that the community, and especially this industry, celebrity, music, whatever you want to call it, gave no fucks about the well-being of Black girls and women. So, I mean, and again, Aaliyah, like you said, Kamau, like what was happening with Aaliyah? Aaliyah and I are 6 months apart in age. And I remember being in high school wondering, where were her parents? What do you mean? Again, because all this shit was out here for a very long time. So I'm glad that, goddamn, that this finally, like there is some kind of resolution to this in the affirmative, in which R. Kelly is being held accountable. But there's a long list of people that worked with R. Kelly. And we always like to stomp on Jay-Z around here, but it wasn't just Jay. It was a lot of them, all of them. So many continued to work with him after those child sex abuse materials were widely disseminated. And after it was known that he had been dealing with Aaliyah when he was 25 or 27 and she was 15. So people knew, they just didn't care. He was making too much money.
What is this, Maxwell? Is Maxwell the singer? Is he accused of something? What is that?
I'm not aware. Who said that? Who said it?
So I just saw come out. You're muted, but I just saw a comment pop up saying.
I think there's a couple of them like that. I'm not sure.
They mean Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell. Oh,
woo, shit. No, not Black Butterfly. Don't throw Maxwell under the bus, please.
That's what I was like. Wait a minute, please. Oh my God. Okay.
Whew, thank God.
Oh man, yeah, I need some water.
Ghislaine Maxwell. Put them in the same cell.
And then grab that other, and then grab the Emmett Till accuser and throw her in there too. And they can chitty chat about how long they got away with all their treachery and disgustingness. And then we got to juxtapose that with the beautiful images of Kamau and his son. But that's life.
I couldn't pull off parenthood because I cuss too much around the kids. I'm sorry, Kamau. I apologize for my language.
My mama all the time. I grew up, we don't do it or try not to. But it is what it is. It's not like they actually like it so they can go back and talk about it later on. Like, ooh, did you hear so and so say whatever? It's like stop it. Stop talking about it.
There's been a couple conversations around here, whispers about, did you hear what Daddy said? Did you hear that? Did you hear what he said to so and so on the phone?
That's several times a day, I'm sure, in the Ball household.
And they like to do this too. I know we're in the middle of news, but listen. They like to use my government name, which I don't use publicly. They'll walk.
Oh.
They were like, when I go, like, my name is Kamau, blah, blah, blah. They were like, his name is Carl Ferdinand Franklin. I was like, don't be using that name.
Have we had the conversation about telling and snitching with the kids?
We
can't be telling babies. We don't tell. We do not
everything
tell. Everything
there's inside the house and outside the house. Inside, what it said inside the house is inside the house. We try to do that, but children are the most honest beings on the planet, boy.
Dog, yes they are.
I got a truth to tell.
Anyway, yes, the children will tell it, and they will tell it to people that you probably don't think that they would be telling it to. What some kids in my neighborhood was like, yeah, and we had to catch this big rat in the house. The rat had ate. I'm like, Jesus, I'm sure your mother does not want you out here telling me that the rat ate up the couch. Like, I think that's y'all's business. That is y'all's business.
My first movie, Claudine, when James Earl Jones put the joy in the bath water for Claudine to take a bath, I shouted, I was like, Mama, that's what we use. And people started laughing in the movie theater. It's like, oops.
Whoops.
Oops.
Oh.
Shut up, boy. Anyway.
No bubble bath for you.
Anybody got anything real quick that they wanted to get to before we get to the ear doctor's next break? There's
How
I got
quick?
a number of things, but I don't know. We got like 5 minutes, I believe. We got like 5
Okay.
minutes.
Dominate 1 minute. I will gotcha. So I saw some people in the chat yesterday inquiring about Brittany Griner. Shout out to Shirley and shout out to Big Swole, aka James Thompson. Because there is news with Brittany Griner. So earlier this week, a judge in Russia extended Brittany's detention by 6 months. And Brittany has already been detained in Russia since February, so roughly 4 months now. So possibly she could, at minimum, be spending total of 10 months in Russia, but at the maximum, Brittany is looking at 10 years in jail in connection to these charges that she allegedly had hashish cartridges in her luggage whilst traveling through a Russia airport.
And Kim, I'm sorry to interrupt, but let me just get this straight, because she's accused of trafficking tons and hundreds of pounds and tons of hashish cartridges. That must be the case, correct?
I think it's a small amount, but I think they're trying to ratchet this up and to include trafficking charges, which is which is mind blowing. Like, again, I'm of the position I don't believe that this woman did that. I think Brittany Griner, as a Black woman out here, understands that she has a lot to lose. And I know on occasion we have had cases of celebrities, wanting to deal a little drugs on the side, but they usually do that at home. They don't go to Russia and start smuggling in hashish cartridges. So Brittany's trial is actually slated to begin tomorrow on July 1st in Russia. And many are anticipating it to be what they call a show trial. But again, the maximum penalty of what she's facing is 10 years. 10 years in jail. And from what I understand, not a lot of people who face these kinds of charges in Russia get exonerated, right? And obviously that this is a political proxy war happening between the US and Russia. And Russia has already stated on the record that they want Victor Bout. They want Victor Bout back, who is a convicted arms trafficker who is serving time in a U.S. Federal supermax prison as we speak. And they said they want Victor Bout. They said, listen, if you run us Victor Bout, we will happily serve you back up your WNBA player. And the Biden administration, despite the fact that they had the State Department reassess Brittany's determination, and I think they have qualified her as being unjustifiably detained. But that's it. And Senator Raphael Warnock from Georgia this week, I believe, tweeted, I don't have the tweet up, but I can find it, tweeted that apparently Brittany Griner had attempted to call her wife from Russia a number of times. I think the number in Raphael Warnock's tweet said like 11 times that she had tried to call her wife from Russia 11 times. And the State Department didn't answer the phone or something. I'm not privy to the details, but I thought that was interesting that a sitting U.S. senator would tweet such specificity about that incident, that the State Department apparently dropped the ball when Brittany was trying to reach out to her family. So I don't like this. If you see the pictures, I think Jared is running them now, of Brittany making this recent appearance in a Russian courtroom. She looks, I saw people on social media qualified as a shell-shocked. Yeah, she looks shell-shocked. Like, she looks like she can't not believe that this is happening to her right now. And I just want us to send our solidarity out to Brittany Griner. We stand with BG. We want to see BG free. And no people should be facing decades or any time in jail behind weed, behind fucking drugs. No, that is something that Russia has got this all wrong. They've got this all wrong pertaining to Brittany, and I hate to see her in this situation.
So let me just talk to Putin real quick and his PR team that is clearly missing the plot on this whole thing. Put her on a first-class flight, apologize, send her home, and then get the goodwill of a lot of people over here on your side. And then you could make the point and probably get some support by saying, now you should do the same for our Victor Boot dude or whatever. Then you could make the argument. But holding her as a pawn over whatever she's accused of or been set up to be accused of is absurd. And it makes them look even like I am way more angry about this than I would be about Ukraine or damn near anything else. And I think that like a lot of people, you know, anyway, so that should just be what they do. And then that was, so other than listening to the ear doctor, who I know we need to get to, that's my advice for Putin this morning.
I second the motion.
First class flight. Let's get it home.
I second that emotion. Hey, I was just wondering, come out, is there any such thing as too much coddling your child? I was just wondering that because, you know, my kids would never have learn how to cook because I cook for them all the time. But till they went to their mom's house and their mom was like, yo, y'all go cook. Y'all make something to eat. But now they know how to cook for themselves. But if I would have kept coddling them by cooking, they would have never learned. No, I was just wondering.
That's not true. That's not
cook for them. For instance, in our house, our daughters have learned how to cook by having meals cooked for them and participating in the process and appreciating the process of preparing food for yourself and your family. Mm-hmm. So I think you can coddle and instruct at the same time.
That's not coddling. Feeding your child is not coddling your child. I know y'all brothers came up on the rough side of the mountain and shit, but feeding your child is not coddling your child. Your child needs to eat. It's okay to feed them. It's okay. You're not making
that's a good point.
You're not making them soft by providing the meals. Okay.
You give them too much love, they ain't gonna learn how to
by feeding them. No. You got a shirt and shoes? Nah.
You didn't sew that? You didn't sew that? Just get that off of your back, boy. Go sew it.
The heat on in this room and you ain't got no wood chip? Come on, what's going on? Nah.
You want a blanket and a pillow? Get the hell out of here.
Oh, hilarious.
Nah, but that's what it is. Let's go ahead and get to this quick break right here on the Remix Morning Show.
Do it.
This you wanna hard. 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 And we want to be a big gymnastic, acrobatics like.
Let's get it, y'all.
We want it now. What I say? It's raining, my body's calling. I'm in need of my darling. You will want a fire, and I'm hearing baby. Come on, babe, me put it in the green.
There is no time to waste. Some come to story to patch I corrupt, Bingy man create yo. Tell them change them ways. Bingy you to know hurry up, now come yourself you waste out to the days yo. Man a fish for them come to story to patch I corrupt, Bingy man create yo. Tell them change them ways. Bingy you to hurry up because I can sell a thing. I see you flashing now stretch out. Looking Selassie I no more rocking on the boat. Things are get ready on the western coast. Enough of them are dead, you might think say a joke. Them mom the money and steal them can't float. I come to separate the sheep from the goat. Looking at the heat to see how who about the toast. Give them the chalice and them end up a choke. Can't bunny earth, them run guns not hope. If I get the fire, then now who want the smoke? Give the youth the culture cause I eat me and promote. Them must come together, Rastafari and no joke. No take no talk. You must listen in no case. Them come to story to a corrupt what the Bingy man creator. Tell them open up them eyes. Get a youth to hurry up because I can sell us the man a praise up.
That girl, Shelly on that girl. That girl, Shelly on that girl. That girl, oh no. That girl, Shelly on. She go like she nice and up. Work back her man. That girl, Shelly on. Please that night time and on the bed to sleep well. Oh no.
Let's get it, y'all. Welcome out to the Remix Morning Show right here, right now. I go by the name of the ear doctor, in case you didn't know. Let's go. Come on.
If I was a rich girl, say I have all the money in the world. If I was a wealthy girl, no man can test me. He breastfeed, you hate to hurry, that's a lie. I have all the money in the world.
you better sign on no will. Duck a dill, dill, dill. A boy get killed, duck a dill, dill, dill. Look up in the barrel.
All right, now let's get back to the Remix Morning Show right here, right now. Black Power Media, y'all. Let's go.
Could I run neatly and if I rich, could I live out my life properly? Hey, if I was a rich girl, no, 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 no. Yeah, hey, I have all the
money in the world if I was a wealthy girl.
Yep.
Thumbs down to Gwen Stefani, old culture vulture jacking ass.
Did she do something with that?
Did she?
Her
Yes.
and your girl Eve for Philly, Ellie Philly.
That's right, EVE.
Well, we see Eve's husband, so
that was excellent, Air Doctor. The chat love. We got a bunch of reggae heads in here, man. Chat love.
Big up.
Air Doctor, how are you so island connected? You were getting big praise for your patois yesterday as well, bro. And you just
I know you can't speak English, but you can do damn good at patois.
Well, you see now, I got well, first of all, my kids' mom is Bayesian. I work with a bunch of Trinidadians. I got a bunch of Jamaican friends that I work with. Loose. That's Loose is yeah. So I got here in Atlanta, you got so many different people, and then the Islanders, everybody they around, and we all get down together. So that's what it is. And I watch a lot of Shotters. That's the best movie in the world, in case y'all didn't know. I'm just saying.
Which one of the Marley boys was in that? Was that Kamani?
Yeah, Kamani.
Yes, indeed. Let's watch Shotters. let's look at Shotters again. Yes.
Hey.
Paddling.
Oh.
Word. Word.
Yo, you sus, yo. You sus.
Don't say that. Don't say that, Dad. You're corny.
Yo, but that's what it is. That's a little mix for the day. And come back later with another mix. Like I said, 2 mixes today. So let's get it.
Oh, wow.
He owes us. Kim, remember, we held him to it.
He is 1 day behind.
I love it, though. It jams. It jams.
The other word that they don't like me using is op. That's the other youth word, right? The op. Yeah. I be opping it.
All of them are banned from me.
Yeah.
Take the weed, leave the money. Yeah. Take the money too. Take the money too.
Lovely.
But yeah.
That was a famous line in Shotters. He's like, please just take the money, leave the weed. Oh, take the money, leave the weed. He's like, what? Man, y'all gotta see that movie, man. I mean, people know a line for line. That's all I gotta say. Shotters.
Speaking of taking the money and leaving the weed, or leaving the weed and taking the money.
What we do around here. No, we do around here. Stick up, big up, big up. It's a stick up, stick up. Hey, what's happening, remixes? What's good? What's the deal? How y'all feeling?
Good, Kalanji. How are you? Good morning.
I'm great, man. I'm grand. It's a wonderful morning. It's a wonderful
Kalanji Jama.
Oh, damn.
My man, Ed Doctor, bring that beat back. Anyway, did y'all shout out the OG today, man?
The who?
Huh?
Which OG? No, probably not. I was just asking what you watching.
I'm watching Passing It On this today. I'm watching Passing It On in honor of our OG, the Ruba Ben Wahad, who turned 77 years old today.
Hey.
Oh, word up. Happy birthday to Ruba.
Want to shout out to
Yes,
Ruba,
indeed.
77 years. You know what I'm saying?
Are you literally playing a CD behind us? That's a CD?
That's a DVD, man. Where this guy from?
DVD, yeah, DVD. I mean, I'm just asking.
Hey, man.
Honestly, I can't. Yeah, we don't even have that anymore. I don't even
have it anymore.
Oh no, that's not true. That's not true. I do have one. I
got copies. Don't trip. We got this.
No, I have the DVD. I don't have a DVD player anymore. That's what
right.
No, in the basement we got all the same thing. Got the CDs and the DVDs, and just look every now and then you stumble across them and go like, oh, I used to have all these.
Man,
Can't do nothing with them, man.
I have some reels that I just spoke to a brother last night. Shout out to my brother Jerry, who's going to assist in turning those reels into a digital situation, because I have some reels that have not been seen by anyone. You know what I'm saying? That was passed on. So we got reels, cassette tapes, the whole nine. Yeah.
I appreciate you shouting out Daruba and happy birthday. He sent me, I'm sure you got one. He sent me a verse. He wrote some lyrics the other day.
Without a doubt.
and he's waiting for. I said, so when you coming on to perform it? He said, quote, when Ear Doctor backs me with the instrumental track. He said, I changed some of the flow. He said, I haven't seen you ain't seen the latest. So he's even got an update. So
Nice.
Ear Doctor and Daruba got to get together so we can launch this premiere
ASAP.
of Daruba's rap career.
Yo, and it's actually dope though. Wow, shit about it. The
Brooklyn
lyrics
already
are crazy. He's gonna definitely piss some people off, but the lyrics are definitely crazy.
Good.
Just reading them. Let me just say that.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Everything that you think you should do, you should not do. Even for former political prisoners, BLA soldiers, Black Panther Party members. We should not encourage them to do everything that they want to do.
So there's that movie. I like the movie Michael Clayton, and there's a scene in it where the old man tells George Clooney, who says he's going to go back and be a lawyer in the courtroom like he used to be, and the old man says to him, let me tell you something. You weren't as good as you think you were. You know what I mean? You're not as good as you think you were. You know what I mean? Like,
it's hard body out here, man.
Hey, but Daruba's earned the right to bomb on some cats, so we need to get the track together for him. And welcome.
I was going to say, but does he need a track behind him for that, or should he just?
That's what he said.
Like he always does.
He should go over that bomb first. My first reply, Machiavelli instrumental. That should be it.
Y'all wildin'. Anyway.
Oh wow, Kamau left. Kamau said that's it.
In Negro fashion, he stepped away. Anyway, how y'all feeling this morning, man? I mean, it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood.
I am good.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's good to see you again, Kalonji. And once more, happy birthday to Daruba. I was gonna say, speaking of Negroes, I had something prepared. I was perusing the latest email alert from Hood Communist, and they reminded us, they included this clip. Again, speaking of Negroes, they included this clip of your boy Barry,
which, as you know,
and I thought if we could spare, I don't know if folks want to make it the full 3 minutes here. We can go as long as you all want, but I actually enjoyed watching this clip because I think it's an important reminder to folks, particularly some younger folks who may have missed the full height of Barry's presidency in 2 terms. Obama was easily among the slickest, most hustling, smooth political. I can't even come up with the language at the point. Hustlers. I mean, so he's asked here. So we don't have to play the whole thing, but he's asked here about
abortion. And at one point in the campaign, when asked about abortion in life, you said that it was above my pay grade. Now that you've been president for 100 days, obviously your pay grade is a little higher than when you were a senator. Do you still hope that Congress quickly send you the Freedom of Choice Act so you can sign it?
You know, my view on abortion, I think, has been very consistent. I think abortion is a moral issue and an ethical issue. I think that those who are pro-choice make a mistake when if they suggest, and I don't want to create straw men here, but I think there's some who suggest that this is simply an issue about women's freedom and that there's no other considerations. I think, look, this is an issue that people have to wrestle with, and families and individual women have to wrestle with. The reason I'm pro-choice is because I don't think women take that position casually. I think that they struggle with these decisions each and every day, and I think they are in a better position to make these decisions ultimately than members of Congress or a president of the United States, in consultation with their families, with their doctors, with their clergy.
Fuck you.
So that's been my consistent position. The other thing that I said consistently during the campaign is I would like to reduce the number of unwanted pregnancies that result in women feeling compelled to get an abortion, or at least considering getting an abortion. particularly if we can reduce the number of teen pregnancies, which has started to spike up again. And so I've got a task force within the Domestic Policy Council in the West Wing of the White House that is working with...
Not a task force.
In the pro-choice.
So I know your doctor said no more than full 3 minutes, but we're almost there, and you got it. It's
we can arrive at some consensus on
that. It
gets
better.
Everyone's getting more pissed off the longer he talks.
The Freedom of Choice Act is not
good.
My highest legislative priority. I believe that women should have the right to choose, but I think that the most important thing we can do to tamp down some of the anger surrounding this issue is to focus on those areas that we can agree on, and that's where I'm going to focus.
So he took all that time. He took all that time to say, throw out. This is so perfect an example of how this dude got where he got. He wasted all that time. He ran out the clock. He did the rope-a-dope of press conferencing. Then he says he buries in the middle of that long first part that I do support the woman's right to choose, but then comes right back to making an issue of teen pregnancy, and then says at the end, but I'm not going to do shit to actually protect her. He did the same thing with the Employee Free Choice Act, which he abandoned, but says I support workers' right to unionize, but I'm not going to do shit for you once I get elected. He did. It was so. Oh my God, that clip is so. And the last thing I just want to say very quickly is that rest in power to Helen Thomas, because during the first press conference, if folks remember, and I used to show this to my classes, his first press conference as president, she asked him who has nuclear weapons in the Middle East. And he said, we can neither confirm nor deny about Israel, blah, blah, blah. And then she later confirmed that she did that just to get on the record that he wasn't going to be any different than any other president, despite his claims. I mean, there was so much master classes going on from both sides of the thing. I got to respect the enemy on this one. I mean, the shit is so slick. But anyway, that was it. Speaking of Negroes, that was ultimately the segue from last.
No, he does this thing where he always did where he would equate the two sides. Even with his famous Philadelphia speech, right? When all the videotape of Reverend Wright's church, and he was this close to white people being like, oh, we're not gonna vote for you. It was like this close. All they had to do was find one clip with him in the audience jumping up and down. Reverend Wright was going like, God damn America, and Obama and Michelle's in the back going, yeah. If they had found that clip, he would have been done.
But he said his grandmother was white and racist too, so that saved him.
Exactly. He threw
her under the bus in that speech too. Yeah.
And so when he had that speech in Philadelphia, he was like, you got to take this side, and then but you got to understand this is what they've been through, and this is what this. So he did that over and over again, and then, like you said, in the end, does what the moderate does, which is to do nothing, to challenge right-wing forces, which are obviously marshaling their power for a huge takedown. They look at that shit and laugh. They're like, oh, you know what that means? That means they're not going to do nothing as usual. Yep. So we just got to keep on pushing and plowing through, because they could. And at that time, that Democrats controlled both houses of Congress by huge margins. Remember, that was right during the recession. Right. So they waltzed into office with huge amounts of power, and dilly-dallied and did nothing, and did exactly what you said Obama did, which was to basically take the two sides approach and then bury the whole issue and never approach it again. And then,
until it's time for re-election, Kamau. It's always comes up for election time. Sorry, didn't mean to touch.
No, you're right. Yeah, election time, and in retrospect. Now, big Twitter statements after I'm out of office and I got $40 million in the bank,
Oh, I hate him so bad.
But it's the same bullshit he pulled when Trayvon Martin was murdered. He was like, he looks like, he could have been my son. I mean, you know, you said that shit, but then at the same time, you ramped up police. You fucking was bombing folks in Africa and all over the damn planet. But you're talking about somebody look like your son. How about the folks in Africa that look like your father, motherfucker? That, you know what I'm saying? That you had no problems invading and murdering and slaughtering, you know, and launching missiles towards. But, you know, I mean, that's the nature of the game. We couldn't expect anything better from a war criminal himself. You know what I'm saying? And I think that he should be brought up on charges just like Trump. That's just my opinion.
And Kissinger and all of that. And that's why I'm not trying to hear all this shit. It's about Trump and the Republicans. And that's why we lost Roe v. Wade and all that shit. I'm not trying to hear all that. Anyway, sorry, Kim.
It's about America. It's about the United States.
No, Democrats lost that. Democrats had plenty of opportunity to do this pre-Obama. They could have done this during Bill Clinton. You know what I'm saying? That this could have been, Bill Clinton had a Democratic supermajority from 92 to 96. Like, this is something that could have been done. But at the time, the Democrat position on abortion was safe, legal, and rare. Like, it's always, they were always trying to relate to abortion, as Obama just said, as a morality issue, not as a fucking medical as a medical need that women have. And it's like, well, if you bitches die when y'all are experiencing pregnancy complications, well, so be it. I guess that was just the moral arc of the universe bending towards your demise because you did not have access to this medical procedure. It's just disgusting.
That's Slick Willie for you, though. He don't ask, don't tell the abortion issue, right? That's how he did it. That was
he Slick Willie and the people are Willie Lump. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reality of it. Everybody's getting popped around here. But
anyway, who anybody want to go next? Anybody got something they want to bring up? Otherwise, like I said, I got a couple others we can get to, but nothing
what you
super
got
pressing.
There? See, I'm doing this on the fly because Comrade Kwame is our comrade, and he is urgently trying to get us to bring attention to this story. In Kalonji, this happened in your neck of the woods. If you could grab that, snatch that linkaroo up there, Gerard, in the chat.
Look at how the
Comrade
chat be program directing. I love it.
No shit, right? You see him producing the show from the chat, telling us. No, go here.
Oh, yeah. What's going on up there, Kalonji? Your peoples, your Connecticutians. I learned I learned that's what you call yourselves up there, Connecticutians.
That's not what we call ourselves. I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, get your pronouns right. Yeah, so
well, that's what they told me at Yale.
Oh, you was up there with Bush, huh? But they told me, you know what they told me at Yale? That's where I got the Monica riot starter from, because they said I burned the flag. But anyway, after I burned the flag, but no,
he didn't say he didn't do it. He just said that's what they called it. That's what
they called it. As they said on the news.
Everybody knows that.
The riot starter, this man. But actually Connecticut, this is New Haven. That's where Hiram is from. You know what I'm saying?
Can we play the package? Because again, Kwame, this is the first time I'm hearing about this is from Kwame in the chat. So I know very little about this.
Thank you, Comrade Kwame.
Thank you, Kwame.
Can it play? We got to do a commercial first.
We
got to do a commercial first. So here, let's just I'll bring it back when we don't have to actually be the commercial. I'll just bring it back in a second.
But the story is about
go ahead. I'm
trying to get some details. So the story is about someone who was killed and similar to what happened in
No, it's paralyzed. Here we go. My bad. I'm sorry.
Severely injured, paralyzed.
Suspect in handcuffs. He was incapacitated when police dragged him from the back of a transport van. Now, police did not use a seatbelt on Mr. Cox, so he was severely injured when the officer driving made a very sudden stop. National correspondent Jerika Duncan is tracking this investigation, and again, this video is disturbing.
Just hold up, okay?
All right, what's up?
Randy Cox was at a block party when New Haven police arrived in response to a weapons complaint. Officers arrested Cox, who they say is an ex-felon and was carrying a firearm illegally. As they were transporting him to jail, authorities say Officer Oscar Diaz was speeding and came to a sudden stop to avoid an accident. As a result, Cox's head is slammed against the back of the van, which had no seatbelt.
I can't hear you.
Hello. Despite Cox's repeated calls for help, it took the officer almost 4 minutes to check on him.
Can you move at all? I can't move.
Before calling an ambulance to meet him at the police station. When the van arrived, several other officers were waiting and began berating Cox to get out.
Move your leg. Sit up.
Why not listening, bro?
Sit up.
I can't move.
You're not even trying.
About 3 minutes later, they dragged Cox feet first out of the van.
What's going on? Huh?
You ain't cracking. You just drank too much.
Before officers forcefully hoisted him into a wheelchair. Cox is processed and dragged into a holding cell about 10 minutes after the van arrived at the station.
He's perfectly fine. You want to put these on? Yeah.
He was placed on the floor where an officer shackled his legs, but he couldn't move as he was paralyzed from the chest down.
Mr. Cox was mistreated. He should have received medical attention immediately. We can't defend anything that was released.
Now, the 5 officers involved are on paid leave pending an investigation. This morning, Cox remains hospitalized in intensive care. Attorney Ben Crump is representing Cox's family as they pursue damages against the city.
We want criminal accountability for those officers, but we also want to see policy changes.
Cox's sister, LaToya Boomer, says she just couldn't finish watching the footage of how officers treated her brother.
It made me sick to my stomach. To treat somebody like that, at what point in time do you believe someone that's saying, I think my neck is broke?
Oh. Well, the mayor's office announced several policy changes following the incident, including installing seatbelts in all police department transport vans and requiring officers to buckle in detainees. Seatbelts were already required in police cruisers. Now, Crump said the family will seek a civil settlement from the city to cover Cox's medical care and lifelong injuries.
That is hauntingly similar to what happened to Freddie Gray in Baltimore. Freddie Gray died as a result of being taken for what the cops call a rough ride, where they have someone shackled, handcuffed in the back of the transport van, and then either they start driving erratically, they speed up, slam on brakes, make wild turns to throw the person around in the back. And that's exactly part of what initiated Freddie Gray's, or further exasperated Freddie Gray's injuries that inevitably led to his death. This man is lucky to be alive.
And it's the callousness of the you know, they have this callousness about people, and even in the terms of the news story, obviously they want to point out he's an ex-felon and all that kind of stuff. So again, for the narrative, news narrative, right away, there's some blame put on the victim in this particular story. I mean, this is 2022, and you don't have seatbelts in the back of these vans, even considering what happened with Freddie Gray. You don't think that the message should not have gotten out to all these law enforcement institutions to simply get seatbelts to put in there? And then, I mean, just the callous way in which they treat, it's like, yeah, you're trash, you're poor, you're a perp, you're a victim, you're guilty of something. And we whatever you tell us, we're not going to believe for a split second, and we're just going to drag you around like an animal. This is the mentality.
The whole shit. I mean, even the police cars, Atlanta police cars. I had the unfortunate opportunity to be chauffeured in one of the motherfuckers. I mean, they make it so goddamn uncomfortable. I'm only like 5'9", 5'10". It's you're like in that shit like a sardine, just the way I had to fold up in it. So I can imagine someone Jared's size. It's like this whole thing, it's not about comfort. It's about punishment, it's about torture. Even the way they dealt with them, all of those bastards should be charged. Every last one of them. The bitch, and yes, I'm saying bitch, the bitch that was saying he's all right, he's just drunk. You know what I'm saying? She should be charged as well. You know what I'm saying? This is outrageous, and it's not. Someone said it's the second case. No, this is business every day. This is everyday business. People are getting fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And we just don't see it on tape until someone's murdered or paralyzed. You know, and this is disgusting. And I think that shout out to the BLA and all of those factions out there who decided to do more than just complain and cry and weep and march and all of that. This is bullshit, and this goes on daily in every hood across America. So, you know, I mean, it's like, you know, it's for me to even sit here and watch this shit was like, you know, I feel like a coward. I feel like a coward to sit here and watch this shit and know that nothing's going to be done. Nothing's going to be done.
So I don't. To your point, Kalanji, again, it's been 30 years, and I don't want to claim I had this powering experience with this or over whatever a riding experience with this, but I remember vividly the being put in the back of a Fairfax, Virginia police car, the handcuffs crazy tight. It feels like they slide. I don't know if the seats actually move, but it feels like they slide the seats back, so you got no leg room. They happily move slow and continue their conversations. All that passive aggressive stuff, all of the little talk and the side talk and the shady talk and making you just sit there and wait in the sweat and the fear and the all of that. And then I've been in one of those vans too. And again, it's been 30 years, but it's like damn, they've made literally no technological advancements in the 30 years.
Why would they?
I get it. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, and it's like we have to keep in mind that these motherfuckers are our enemy. They are our enemies, and we have to think as such. You know what I'm saying? The thing about us is we have mercy on our enemies, but our enemies have no mercy on us. And we like, man, I can't believe these motherfuckers after so long. When I was in the back of the pig car here in Atlanta for a traffic stop, let me just say that this bastard that's driving, he's trying to have some small talk. I'm ignoring him. He's bumping Biggie Smalls in the fucking car. This is the pig I'm talking about. And he has the nerve to tell me, oh man, you know, you're the same age as my father. The only thing I said to him when he said you're the same age as my father is, yeah, your mother should have swallowed you. And he's sitting there, he's like, oh, that's fucked up. I'm trying to be your friend. You ain't my friend, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm clear about what's going on. Yeah. So the thing is, it's like, you know, we have to, all this small talk and dancing with the police and partying with the police, and they bought ice cream in the community and they bought some new basketball hoops. Fuck that. The same kids that they'll buy ice cream for are the same kids that they'll go upside their head and bust them in the head later on, maybe gun them down, lock them up, whatever. So we got to
videotape. It was black cops, black cop, right? Those were black
even in New Haven,
all that stuff that folks talking about. We need more black cops because of this or because of that. It's like those are overwhelmingly black cops there treating that black person like garbage, You know what I'm saying?
Anyway, yeah. Forgive me, y'all, for being rude.
That's not rude, Kalanji. First of all, this your shit. You come on this joint the way you feel like it. Second of all, you good. Megan, thank you so much for your super chat support, and thank you, Kwame, for bringing this story to our attention. And FTP all day. Appreciate you all so much. I'm sort of stuck. You know, I hate to be in the position of looking at something regarding police violence for the first time and feeling relieved that the person is alive, despite the fact that they are paralyzed. You know what I mean? Like that is how fucked up and dystopian this scenario and our situation is when it comes to the way the police deal with us. Like, I'm so sorry that this man is experiencing this lifetime, possibly permanent disability because of a police interaction, but I'm so glad that they didn't kill him, because they very easily could have. And then what?
Anyway, I hear you. Yeah, it's everything is upside down. That's why we started with the whole thing of the Summer of Soul to the dystopian invest fest. I mean, the whole joint. We're in it's a bizarro universe we're in right now, and I don't know. It's crazy.
I'm sure they would have blamed him if he died. I know we're about to do the. I was like, I'm sure.
Yeah.
There would have been some rationale or excuse that would have been his fault for why he died, right? you know.
And Kamal, thank you so much for saying what you said, because you're right. The way the news framed that the Randy Cox, an ex-felon who was in illegal possession of a handgun, nigga, do you know what the range of felonies are? Like, felony does not denote violent. That just means it could have been anything, but it didn't have to be violent, a violent crime. And connecting his criminal record with the fact that he was carrying a gun. Again, I hate these gun laws that we have on the books, because they only seem to get Black people carrying guns. They don't never get Judas out in the mountains with his armory, right? But it's only the Black person carrying a lone pistol hither and thither.
Right.
Then anyway, I just hate it all.
Hey man,
Look,
fuck the police. How about that? You know what I'm saying?
But what we
All
don't
day, every
hate, yeah, absolutely, all day, every day, and that's why we need the ear doctor, who we do not hate and inspires us with these vacation backgrounds.
Yeah.
Hey, back to FTP. Fuck the police. I got an uncle that I never even met that got murdered by the police for getting pulled over. When I was 18 down here in Atlanta, I got pulled over for drug search. They just pulled me over, no reason. And about 5 cops came and just bum rushed the truck, and they threw me in the back and went down my pants and everything, and was like, "All right, we ain't find nothing. Bye." Sorry. You know, that's when you realize these are, like you said, you're not your friends; they are enemies, and we need to remember that straight up.
I mean, speaking of the independence, not to cut off. In Chicago, I can recall there was pigs that were sticking screwdrivers in people's anuses, looking for drugs. You know what I'm saying? So this is how dirty these motherfuckers are. And I know that you all were talking about that show and what went on in Baltimore. But of course, we know that this is in damn near every major city you can think of. You'll find some type of case like it. Unfortunately, buzzards like Ben Crump and Sean King don't get to swoop down on those cases, so we don't hear about it. You know, and
man, I'm supposed to be watching that Netflix thing about Crump. We're supposed to be doing, and I can't bring myself to do it. I can't, and we can't even stream it for like a not by myself thing, because it's a Netflix joint. But I mean, I just can't bring myself to push play on that piece. So, and then I just heard yesterday there's an Al Sharpton documentary coming.
Yeah, what's it called? Anyway. CI number 7. How to Wear a Wire. What's it called?
I wonder where they include that.
David Simon's new series, How to Wear a Wire.
How to Wear a Wire, right?
How to get rich off of Black Death. I think that's it.
How to be a bobblehead in 2 easy steps.
After that trigger warning video, we need to balance our chi. So let's go there right now and take a quick break. Let's get it right here.
With the chi?
Yeah, Dr. Bob.
From a stand up on volcano sound and never me can tap pipe. Babylon come and tell me that no right. Me say me burn it and pass it on the right. Me say them coming and them look on the head. Them say ain't nothing better. That's the fire. And I saw the angel ascended from the east, having the seal of the living king.
Let's get it.
And it's Celestial first, the Most High. And he cried out with a loud voice, saying, oh, oh,
Capleton.
It's a raggy road, the road is so rough. A raggy road, the road is so tough. A raggy road is so rough. Raggy road, yeah, we're loving. Judging this road for the longest while, I make a career, no for them want me soul. Hey. Judging this road for the longest while, I never get try papa fall another man coil.
Do you take this man for your lawful husband?
The one them call King Yellow Man.
I do. And do you take this lady for your lawful wife?
Yes. Sing along. Let's go.
I'm getting married in the morning. Ding dong, you hear the church bell ring. She have me yellow baby, and I'm gonna mind it. So take me to the church on time. But you me man.
Let's get it.
See me in my heels and ting. Them checks say we hip and ting. True them no know and ting. We have them going empty. Now pop no style, are strictly roots. Now pop no style, are strictly roots.
That's what it is right here. We rocking out for you and yours. Let's go.
Rumors them spreading, claim that I've sent me planting, but I'm already done in the juggling. I feel rumors of war.
It's a war going on outside, y'all. No man is safe from all woman. Let's get it. Let's keep it going right here on the Remix Morning Show and bring back our host with the most. Yep.
In my Benz and ting, that a true constant spring. Them checks say we come from Cosmo Spring, but the true them no know anything. Them no know say we top ranking, uptown top ranking.
I
Shout
love
out to the
it.
ear doctor.
Telephone
Yeah.
love. I thought it was going
Thank you. That's what I was thinking, Kamal. I was like, that's that telephone love rhythm.
That's what I thought. What's
Hey,
up?
yo,
Is this
man.
the only music we can get away with without the copyright violation?
I just ain't want to
loving
be. I ain't want to be too predictable. You know what I mean? You don't want to.
Nah, we can do that all the time. I love it. But I'm just thinking, no copyright violation. So they ain't got their shit together, huh? They can't hit us.
Well, nah, they do. That's international. We gonna get the strikes. Don't worry about it.
Ain't get no
You know what I'm
strikes. I
saying?
ain't gonna get no strikes.
Man, listen,
they
man.
don't study reggae like that, like they do.
Exactly.
Hey, but we do appreciate this. We definitely appreciate the super chats and the patrons and the memberships on YouTube, because almost all of them, I go through that YouTube studio and almost all of those videos got that yellow strike on them joints.
No doubt.
And that advertising joint. We stay
Morning.
yellowed up. So they
Well,
hit
let's-
us one way or another.
We
do this
Let's do a little quick telethon. We got 24 minutes left. Let's get some more super chats up in there.
Well, let's appreciate the people for the super chats. Lucretia, thank you so much for your membership. Lucretia said, but wait, Stacey Abrams says police need higher salaries. That's what Stacey Abrams says. Yes, she does. Franny French ran us some bucks. Thank you, dearest. Franny French says abolish the pigs. We co-sign that. As Kalanja Chonga would say, we unite with that. Nia Shell ran us some super chat and said, there's no celebration this weekend for white Juneteenth. Eat your barbecue another time. Salute Kwame for his persistence. Yes, again, big up Comrade Kwame for the production assistance here. And Dead Man Anarchist, thank you so much for your super chat. It says, as always, ACAB and abolish America, KKK, America. Thank y'all.
America.
Big up all y'all out there, man.
Oh,
Much
you
love. What up?
My bad. I'm the dude that's supposed to be staying out the chat, but somebody said they wanted to argue with me. I said, what you want to argue with me about? My bad.
That's how they get you.
I know that's how they get you. They name
get
you. They call you out by name.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, I'm out of here. Y'all have a great weekend, and I catch y'all on Sunday. So come check me out 8 p.m. on Sunday.
Good stuff, Ed Doctor.
Outstanding work this week, sir.
First premiering.
Okay.
Wow,
okay.
and the people listen to you, Kamal. Here they come. Thank you,
Don't
Northern
they?
Witch, for your super
Okay.
chat support, dearest. We love you, D. And thank you to Tina Lulu out there in California. Thank you, Tina Lulu. Tina Lulu gets up mad early to watch us, so we appreciate you, Tina Lulu.
Definitely.
Thank you, baby.
Very much.
The more listening
Also,
that should be a part of the rule, because y'all know y'all slipping on the Patreon.
Slipping.
I'm not saying the people in the audience are, but I'm just saying we need to make it up.
Shout out to
somehow.
Anthony D. You know what I mean?
saying?
Ear doctor
Yeah,
making them joint. You know what I'm saying? Making them jump a little bit. That's a cool thing.
Call out all the names of the people in the chat who haven't yet given us a super chat. Can I do that?
That's not what we're doing. That's not what we're about here, Kamal. We don't change.
My bad.
We appreciate the free support, and thank you while you guys are out here divvying up support. Could you please give the video a thumbs up, a like? If you have not yet subscribed to Black Power Media, just subscribe. We appreciate the free support because we understand that we are in trying economic times. Kamal. So we're not gonna shame people them, if they ain't got it. I ain't mad at that shit. I ain't got it. I ain't mad at all. So just come through and show up, participate in the chat, like the video, subscribe, support us in the free ways. We love that too.
No doubt. Even at the very least, if you could just repost, you know what I'm saying? Retweet what we're doing, you know what I mean? And just let folks know that we out here making the effort. I want to say too.
Dude that played basketball a couple of weeks, the one that made the big splash because he was arguing. They said he was a failure, and he did all these YouTube videos, and everybody started watching him.
Kwame Brown.
Kwame. They super chatted him up. I saw some of these same names in our super chat giving him money.
No, you didn't.
Shout out to Norman Henderson.
No,
peace.
you didn't.
I don't believe that.
Come out bugging. Anyway, hey, listen.
Because Kwame Brown probably still made $50 million.
But hey, but to speak
pile of money.
But to the importance of what we're doing here, just to that point, immediately as soon as he blew up, Kwame Brown got snatched up by that black capitalist hustler crowd, the Boyce Watkins and all of it. Like everybody, like as soon as he got big and got an audience, here come all the hustlers grabbing him up. So he's been dragged. I mean, he had that really nice analysis and critique of sports media and Stephen A. Smith, and then they grabbed him up, and as soon as it dragged him all the way over politically, as soon as they saw him. And so, you know, we gotta be, you know, BPM
Gratitude,
is necessary.
Al
anyway,
Unique.
Thank you, Al
with
Unique.
the hot tracks. Also, I want to say too, man, for folks who haven't read it, Assata Shakur has a real dope piece dealing with the 4th of July. I'll post it up today, you know, for folks who haven't checked it out. You know, that's a you know, because folks usually they go to Frederick Douglass when they talk about, you know, anything that's anti
The meaning of the slave.
Yeah,
The meaning to the slave.
Yeah. But she has a dope piece as well, though. You know, but definitely we appreciate you all doing what you're doing. Too much money, baby. Begging for money on 30.
Netflix in the building.
Nia Shell called it white folks Juneteenth.
Every day is white folks Juneteenth.
Every day is white folks Juneteenth.
Every single day. But definitely.
Can I petty up the news real quick?
Please.
Can I officer petty it up real quick?
Petticoat ball in the building.
I got to take any opportunity to say I told you so.
Shout out Norman Henderson and Michael Brown for the loop.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey,
absolutely.
It's the first of the month. Wiggle,
I was gonna say it is the third. I was like, we get it must be close.
Come on.
Hey man, listen.
Hey, while you messing around, I called the bank yesterday to find out, and they were like, "It's not the first yet."
Oh shit!
Slow
said he called the bank.
I called him. I was like, "I gotta." Where?
He thought it was February.
I gotta chase it down. You know what I mean? Like every penny got to get. Like I don't have anyway. I don't have it like anyway. Democrats are bankrolling ads promoting fringe Republican candidates.
I'm sorry.
So again,
I'm sorry.
Yes, Democrats are bankrolling ads promoting fringe Republican candidates. Here's why. So I don't believe this story mentions it, but this is like a reboot of one of the reasons why. Thank you, Dead Man Animations. Why Hillary ended up losing to Trump when those WikiLeaks reports came out showing the Pied Piper theory. They want to promote Trump to make it easier for her to beat, So what they've done is they've just, started distributing or maybe that was part of the already distributed plan and process that continues to backfire, at least at that level, from their perspective, backfired, but on lower levels, it seems to be working quite well. So they talk about Claire McCaskill. That was one of her methods to victory some years ago, showing that in 2012, her campaign spent $1.7 million on an advertising blitz during the GOP primary to highlight the conservative credentials of Todd Akin. It was more money than Akin's campaign had spent throughout the entire primary. And this was, long story short, this was used to get her a victory against a weaker opponent. And I just bring this up again. Well, one reason, how did I write this in my notes? I got to take notes otherwise. So I wrote here, I said, so Dems will spend millions of dollars to promote Republicans they intend to defeat, to also not in the end produce legislation that helps those they promote these lies to in order to be elected. So it's like, they will put all this money behind campaigns that are not meant to win to help Democrats win. And then when it comes to doing the things that they get themselves elected, promising they're going to do for people, they don't actually do it, as we saw with the Obama example a few minutes ago. So I just wanted to bring that up again, that this is part of their ongoing process, and why humbly I would continue to argue we got to develop alternatives outside of that party and process if we're going to engage electoral politics at all, because that party is, anyway, it's self-evident largely. So
yeah,
and I just wanted to say I told you so.
And again, with that comparison we made the other day, the same way they'll do that, thinking that's going to get some of their vote count up. If someone's to their left, they'll go after that person to knock them down, right? So that same party will not only big up the fringe white candidate or the fringe right wing candidate to create the boogie person, but on the opposite side, it's not like they're leaning so far left. Like there's some tactic to make sure that they can get some progressive policies passed, like you said. It's only about them getting elected and keeping the status quo going. Again, you know, the history is they were fine. White folks were fine. These particular folks were fine. They were fine with enslavement. Mm-hmm. They were fine with Jim Crow. They were fine with the police tactics, but they're not fine with anything that brings up publicity that stops the money from running, right? So if it stops the money from running, then they want to step up and claim to have some sort of moral or intellectual stance against what's happening. But it's only when they think the money's in trouble.
I just wanted to show here that I forgot this one part, that their claim that they would use in response to my own is that this saves them money in the long run. Because if they can spend $1 million against a weak candidate, they won't have to spend $20 million in a general election against a difficult opponent.
Well, hold on. Sarah McCaskill eventually ended up losing her Senate seat, yes? And Liu Kang, I don't know if we have any Missouri people in the chat. Missouri has 2 Republican senators, if I'm not mistaken, and a Republican governor. I think their only Democratic national Congress people are Cori Bush out of the Lou and Lacey Clay out of Kansas City. So that don't sound like no long-term successful strategy to me. If you want to prop up these Republicans, that you might beat them for one cycle, but then they come back and mollywop your ass for the remaining cycles. That don't sound like no good strategy.
I mean, the way Missouri folks in Missouri are murdering citizens, just the police alone, Missouri should just try to shut the fuck up and just and dribble. You know what I'm saying? Like look, man.
But the problem is Missouri is very black. Like there is some highly black areas. Trust me, I used to live on both ends of Missouri, and it is oppression. The whole state is oppression. Huh?
What you was doing in Missouri?
Nigga, I was living.
You don't know Kim's life. Kim was
exactly.
You thought Kim just existed before BPM? Like she just popped up at BPM?
I thought she was Baltimore all day long.
I'm in the national Kim. I'm in the national Kim out here. No, I've been in the people. Listen, I'm like you, Kamal. I left the East Coast, elitism, so to speak, and moved to deeper oppression. Because I assure you, Missouri is fucking oppression. St. Louis is oppression. Kansas City is oppression. And these are the best black people on earth living in the worst state ever created. It's such a oppressive state. But yeah. No, come on now.
Yeah, shout out to all the soldiers out there. There's some real good folks out there that's putting in groundwork.
No doubt.
In
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that was before Mike Brown.
That's right.
And definitely, there's folks that's been putting in some real serious work out there. And much props and salute to them. And to all the workers across the board, man, because there's some serious workers out here who are not getting any type of press. Some of them aren't even on social media. It's folks that we see in the streets every single day. These are the people that that help to safeguard some of the folks in Missouri and elsewhere, that don't get credit. So, shout out to them.
Yep. And Missouri is another state where we are going to have to be focusing our attention for trying to assist those who are seeking abortions. I'm not sure if Missouri is a trigger state, but I know they do only have one abortion clinic in the state, which I imagine will be closing in the very near future. So at least on Burn It Down with Kim Brown, one thing that we're going to start doing is highlighting an abortion fund from abortion restrictive states and encouraging the Fire Fam and everyone who's a viewer to match us in donating monthly to a designated abortion fund every month, because it costs north of $1,200 to try to provide lodging, transportation, childcare services, food for women who live, let's say, in Missouri or Texas or Oklahoma, and who have to travel all the way to Illinois, or if they live in Kentucky or Tennessee and they got to travel all the way to Virginia or Maryland to seek these abortion services. That's $1,200 a pop at minimum on the low side. And we're not talking about Planned Parenthood. We're not talking about NARAL. We're talking about these abortion funds that are grassroots organizations on the ground, hands-on with people who are in need of these services. So I would like to invite Black Power Media. Maybe you guys could join us in matching our donations, which we're going to start doing this in July. We're going to, and again, we not no big channel over here. So we are going to donate $50 a month to an abortion fund. We're going to ask our viewers to match us at least $5 if you guys are able. And every month we're going to donate to a specific fund. So I hate to put y'all on the spot, but I just thought about this. I mean, maybe y'all could match us in the $50 for a month, for 1 month, and maybe encourage your viewers to do the same. So
I don't have a problem with that. And I don't ever feel put on the spot. I would just be like, nah. but in all honesty, I appreciate that. And I'm personally, I'd be happy to do it. I don't think we'd have a problem.
CMB will also match the $50 pop.
Hey,
we'll do that too. And y'all in the super chat, with super chats that started to run dry. Spend that money. Sorry.
Yeah, because honestly, I think I don't know exactly. I lost track of some of the email, but when we're going to start fully promoting some of these other projects we're involved in, but we are. Part of what we're doing is when you make these super chats, the one thing you can rest assured of, the faces you see on the screen are not going to the vacation spots that Ear Doctor uses as a background. It gets redistributed to things like this. That's the whole point, really, of the platform. So
now, if somebody wants to donate a vacation, I will.
No, yeah, I mean that's a whole separate situation. That's a whole separate situation, right, Kim? Absolutely, separate situation, right? Absolutely. We're not averse to having a good time. We're just saying. We're
not averse to
that's not what that's
just
not right. We're not grifting for that.
No, we're not grifting. No.
That's all. That's it.
Look here, man. Why lie? I need a vacation. I'm about to get a sign to put that mother up. You know what I'm saying?
I need a vacation bad too. Like Ear Doctor's popping up with all this blue water around him. I'm like, and playing all these reggae sets. I'm like, how come I'm not in Mo Bay right now on the beach? Like, how come I'm not in Montego Bay right now?
No, I think the only way, I hate to say this, but I think the only way we showing up at a $6 million house is either rest in power to DMX in the ski mask way, or like Candace Owens just showing up with a camera, knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell, and not being let in. But one or the other, I don't see any in between for BPM on that one.
Let me ask you guys a question. If Candace Owens showed up at your house with a camera crew, are you going to come to I'm coming to the fucking door, man. I want to see why Candace is on my doorstep. Are y'all going to answer the door?
I might come out with some depending on what the angle is, there might be a pot of water falling on your head.
Oh shit.
There might be a whole bunch of shit happening.
It might be a lot of Kamal taking it back to castle warfare tactics.
It's a molten lava on your head.
She come to my doorstep. She definitely getting slapped. I'm just telling y'all that out the gate. You know what I'm saying? I have daughters. And I would tell them to slap the shit out of her.
That's sort of the right. Kalonji we all had a uncomfortable pause there for a moment.
It's all good. It's all good. I got daughters. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that for me would be part of the answer too. It would depend on who's home, first of all, and what the other rest of the situation was. Because I might not be given. I could either see it being that I don't get permission to go to the door, or I'm instructed to go to the door, or
the dog just so happen to have to go out at that particular moment that she gets there. I'm like, oh, let the dogs loose.
Or I might come back over and go to sleep. But
Roberto ain't no killer out here.
Yeah, Roberto might be like, Wolf,
Woof, woof,
What
I
I
say.
won't do is start my
Right.
IG phone camera and start crying in the phone. That's what I
Oh,
won't
right.
do. Yeah, that's what I won't. I know of all the things that could happen, there's a couple that won't happen, and it won't be like
have your. That's why you got to have the bell notifications on, because we might go live at that moment. It would just be, it would just be a live stream of Candace knocking on the door and be like, get the numbers up, Candace. You know what I'm saying?
Her knocking on the door and the door knocking back. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's an interesting trick. All of a sudden, my door falls down on her head. Like, how did that happen? Wasn't me.
Yeah, who knows? It could be a whole, like I said, but it does start with who's home and what permissions are granted.
Yeah, when you said that, that completely rang true for my household too, because it might just be like a don't go at that door. I've had the threat, like they got to pull out the ultimate threat, which is the whole I'm going to leave you if you do ABC, whatever. It's like, damn, it's like that.
Yes.
It's like, I need to get the seriousness of the matter across to you. If you do this, then this is the consequence.
One other component would be that we didn't see in the clip that I remember seeing of Candace showing up is who is the camera person.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would have an impact too. If it's, with all due respect, so-and-so or such and such, it might not get the same response as if it's, if it's James Thompson standing there holding the camera for, I mean, you might be more inclined to get a different response. Like it just depends on.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like who was behind the camera? Like how many people really were there? How were they constituted? What were they carrying? How big was that bag they were holding? Like I'm assessing the whole thing, and then we do
they had a gun.
Algorithmic calculation. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who can. Like you never know who they. Like they may look like Ben Shapiro may look corny, and he's paying her, and he sounds corny, but I don't know that he's not strapped, and I don't know that he's not a lunatic, and I don't know that he's not rolling with some pilled up lunatic.
So Jared, are you saying that Ben Shapiro come to your house and chump you? Are you trying to say that, man? What's going on, man? No, you ain't gonna let him chump you. Huh?
No, what I said specifically was it depends. It sets up the measurement of my response. That's all I'm saying. There's no.
And obviously, we live in very different states as it relates to stand your ground laws. Yes. So what Kalonji and Kamal might be able to get away with in Georgia, me and Gerard and Jacqueline can't get down like that unless Katz is actually walking through the door. So
we would have to, right? It would somehow have to be, they have to come in. They would have to somehow be inside the house, having already been told they're not welcome.
Oh yeah.
That's when.
Yeah, and then as the castle doctrine drops in, and you can do whatever.
I think I need to check exactly, but I think that's the only hope you have. Like if you you can't invite them in, have a cup of tea, and then get crazy and then say they were in my house. But if I think at some point they have to be. I don't know. Let me not talk. I don't know.
Well, they can't. You can't shoot someone if they're leaving. You can't just shoot them if they're. You have to prove that it was some type of threat. That's in Georgia and everywhere else as well. Now these white folks, they'll shoot you for coming on their property. It sounds good.
Yes.
They'll make you can't even make a U-turn in their driveway.
They'll drag you onto the property to bring you closer after the fact.
There'll be no dragging. We're not, what I'm saying? There'll be none of that.
Yeah. But to Kamal's point, the only thing 100% assured of is there would be no selfie crying videos after the fact. That's the only thing.
I bet I see these videos now. I hear y'all talking. I bet I see none of them pop up. Be like, I can't believe I met Candace Owen.
Candace ain't come around here.
I felt threatened by Candace and Ben Shapiro with his little yarmulke.
Where's that?
Kim, you wouldn't invite Candace to the crib?
Invite her? No. Now, if she showed up, I'll go out there and see what the fuck she want. What you doing?
Kim's already let us know what she got at that house.
Wait.
Candace don't want none of that.
This is
I go out there and see what the fuck she
want.
want.
Out of Kim's mouth, and she opens the door. The barrage of curses that'll be flying out of Kim's mouth as she opens the door.
A lot of clicking and clacking too. Would be a lot of
but I know what my lawful limitations are here in this God-forsaken, gun-restricted state that we live in, Jared. But no, so I'll tell y'all a quick funny story and we bounce. But so I had an issue with one of my mom's neighbors who are of the Caucasian persuasion, and they made the mistake of, look, that's them calling me now. they made the mistake of, I don't know if they called me a black bitch or my mother a black bitch, but either way, it was the wrong decision. So I stood outside their house and I was screaming at the top of my lungs, cussing them, begging them to come outside. And they were running tape on me the whole time, had their cameras running tape. They was laughing. I said, post that shit, post it on the internet so I can tell everybody around the world why I'm out here screaming, cursing at you like a fucking lunatic. And y'all ain't seen that video. No, you ain't seen the video, have you? Nope.
Tucker Carlson played it last week.
Play it. I told him, I said, play it. Please let me tell everybody why I'm out here cussing and screaming at you like this. You want to call my mother a black bitch? That's still beef.
No, but the thing is, but Kim, I'm gonna tell you like this right here. See, there wouldn't have been no cussing and screaming and all that. We'd have just waited till the next time they came out, 6 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the night, whatever the fuck it was, and then they got to explain what the fuck they were saying. And at that particular point, that's when shit get real. All that come outside shit, nobody got time for all that. We already know they're not coming outside. That's why they went inside.
They didn't come outside. Not only did they not come outside, but they called the police, and I stood at the bottom of the driveway waiting for the police to finish talking to them. Come on over here and talk to me. And I even told the police, I said, why don't you, because I had my man friend with me. I said, listen, I said, this can be between them. I said, y'all can ref the fight. Just tell him to come outside. Like, we can make sure y'all make sure that nobody gets murdered.
So it was a dude. So it was a man. It was a man that called.
It was a man, a pussy clot man. That's what I'm saying. Some of these racist white men got a lot of chest for black women. They got a lot. They like to go extra.
No, they don't discriminate. We live in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? They had one of our comrades was in the Kroger out here, and they tried to surround him. And he's like, shit, he bigger than Kamau and I, probably about Jared's height, and well trained. But they get so bold if they're like hyenas. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they will swoop down on you when they catch you by yourself. You know, so it ain't these motherfuckers don't discriminate. You know, they in their mind, they like, let's get this nigga. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, that whole black bitch thing.
But see, it's these phony ass white liberals out in Howard County that want to act like they not racist, and then the same motherfucker had the audacity, and I posted this under his YouTube video. Like, he had a band. Anyway, long story short, he created like some anti-racist anthem. I'm like, you racist piece of shit! Like, you done called us black bitches, and here you are fronting on the internet like you some big anti-racist. Fuck off. Piss out.
No doubt.
Anyway,
real quick, guys.
On that, so listen, go ahead, Kim. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Friday night, tomorrow night, Burn It Down with Kim Brown at 7 p.m. I'm going to be speaking with the leader from an organization that tracks Black femicide in the United States. Her name is Rosa Piera. Rosa is a registered nurse. She's been a nurse for a long time. She has undertaken this tragically labor of love to get to nail down what are the underlying causes of Black femicide, who is killing Black women in America. And this is a very important conversation that we're having tomorrow on Burn It Down with Kim Brown, 7 p.m. Please tune in.
No doubt. And starting next week, we'll be doing Riot Starter Weekly. I have some real dope guests coming next week. We might do a double depending on how things go. But I have a real, a well-known guest, former NBA player that'll be coming on to talk about some things.
Did you get Mahmoud Abdul Rauf? Is that who you got, Kalanji?
Come on, man. Why are you running me under the gun? It's possible. It's possible.
Okay.
Anyway, next week though. Yes. So yes, that is a very possible situation right there.
Make sure, again, we appreciate the money. Definitely appreciate the support, but make sure you got everything clicked and liked and all the bells. So when Riot Starter comes out and you get the surprise revealed, you don't miss it. I'll be on tomorrow morning. I might even do something later today because there's another I told you so. I'm just so petty and trifling enough that I might just so just do that. But also as homework, please check out. It dropped yesterday. In Search of Black Power's discussion of Afro pessimism in that horrific article in Jacobin. And as you watch it, please understand that with all due respect to my brothers at LBS, that was the light in, part one soft critique, because my show tomorrow morning is going to finish it off with them as well. They're going to join us. I believe Diallo and Geechee will be here as well. So it's going to be a full show. And I think we're also going to get, we might also get the rescheduling of Professor Abdouadi coming on to talk about Palestine and Assata Shakur and Black liberation. So make sure everything is liked, shared, belled up, all that good stuff.
And we might get a Jackie Lukman, people power lunch. So set
people
your bells
power
for
lunch.
Set your bells for that.
Lukman Nation tomorrow too. So like,
Okay.
you know, you just never know when stuff is dropping. So just be belled up.
And I agree with Jared. I may pop on later on today too, because I got some shit I want to talk about. So, you know, stick around, man. Hang out with us. You know what I'm saying? I want to start doing pop-ups. I think that you know,
it's the summertime. It's the summertime.
Speaking of pop-ups remixers, next Friday, July 8th, somebody on the screen is going to pop up on Burn It Down with Kim Brown. It's Kalonji Chonga. It's Kalonji Chonga. And listen, me and Kalonji gonna have a good time on Burn Down with Kim Brown, because I know at least a quarter of the remixes, y'all think me and Kalonji is beefing all the time. That is erroneous. That is not accurate. And I think we are going to have a good time on the show. I am so honored to have Kalonji join me on Burn It Down with Kim Brown next Friday, July 8th. Mark your bells for that too.
Look for it. We're gonna burn that shit all the way down. In fact, I'm gonna do some push-ups so I can, you know what I mean? Be ready, you know what I mean? So let's go.
Bring the Molotovs. Let's go.
Yes, indeed.
Peace.
Look for
if
it.
you're willing to fight for it, like Fred said. See you tomorrow. Peace.
Baby,